Hello everyone, my name is Fabulous Fish, and welcome to this holiday 2019 update video. We've got a lot to cover today, so sit back and we'll get through it all as quickly as possible. First off, I'd like to apologize for the lack of videos this past month. As I mentioned in my last update video, I have begun working a full-time job, so I have significantly less free time than I did prior. The biggest thing eating away at my time right now is actually my commute. It can be longer than an hour and 15 minutes in the car each way, taking up a whopping 2.5 hours of my life every day sitting in traffic. Unfortunately, I'm limited in how much I can work from home right now, meaning that until I'm able to move, this is just something I'm gonna have to deal with. At this point, I'm starting to look for a new place to live that's significantly closer to where I work, but I won't be able to move there until we're closer to Katie's graduation this May. Despite this loss of time, I'm still able to record and edit on weekends and some evenings. I'm sure many people have noticed, but Tomodachi Life has completely stalled, with the last episode being uploaded in September. I assure you that this project is still alive and well behind the scenes, with episodes being recorded weekly, but unfortunately we've been unable to upload them without the completed artwork. Katie was in a really bad place emotionally the last few months and hasn't been able to finish any of the art we need for the thumbnails, bios, and outro cards. This is also why we've been unable to enact any of the other projects we discussed, such as Katie taking art commissions or releasing the drafts of Cambered Circle publicly. Luckily, Katie's been doing better these last 2 weeks. She's had a bit of a life-changing experience and has been looking at the world in a much more positive light recently. We're hoping to turn this momentum around and resume uploading Tomodachi Life again before the end of the year. I'll be uploading the videos as quickly as we can finish them until we catch up, at which point they will be uploaded weekly as originally planned. Additionally, we're working on some last-minute touches to the draft of Cambered Circle that we intend to share, and we're looking to have it be publicly readable on my Discord server by January. Speaking of my Discord server, I would like to take the time to thank everyone who has joined it. Over the last 30 months, we've accrued around 85 members, and the community is always active. From the casual discussions about a variety of topics, to different creators sharing and strengthening their art, to the weekly voice chat discussions that members partake in, the server has become a shining, growing community. I'd like to give some special thanks to my server admins, who have helped me run the place in my absence. I can't check in as frequently as I used to, so I really do rely on them to keep everything in order. Both Lugzer and Ando are longtime members of my community. Both even found me pre-hiatus if I'm remembering correctly, and both have been super active even all these years later. They're both super friendly, approachable people who have been doing their best to resolve issues and keep everyone on good terms with each other in the server. The Arkham one has also been crazy active. From engaging in discussions to solving my cryptic riddles, Arkham has always set out to engage in the community right from the start. In fact, it was some of his doings that inspired me to set up moderators in the first place. Arkham's a decent content creator in his own right, and his positive attitude always shines through in his work. He does LPs over on his own channel, so feel free to take a glance. Tennybox has been a part of my community for just under 2 years, and was the first mod I appointed for the server. He really gets himself invested in the various projects shared on the server, and he always has something nice to say. Tenny previously did LPs on his own channel, but much like myself, he has phased them out to pursue analysis and video essays instead. On the topic of shoutouts, there's a few others I'd like to give right now. I've shouted him out before, but Sensei Josh is always pursuing new musical endeavors. He's come a long way from being just another Let's Player, and has recently started working to grow his band, Milfoil, on their new YouTube channel. Nitro Indigo is a name I started seeing pop up in my comments section a few months ago, and upon checking out her channel, I was shocked to see how few subs she had. Nitro does this really cool series called Do Judge a Book by Its Cover, where she does just that, praises and criticizes the various covers of books, movies, and games she has. It's really one of the more creative ideas I've seen for a video series, and her critiques are always very charming. The fact that she's the smallest channel I'm subscribed to by a considerable amount is very disappointing, because she really deserves way more than that, so go give her a watch. Oh, and she previously did LPs too. Are we seeing a trend here? Well, to deviate from this trend real quick, I have one final shout out to give, and that's to Depressed Unicorn. No, she's not a former LPer who's moved on to bigger things, like the others, but rather an artist who's just starting out on Instagram and Twitter. Her art is pretty adorable, and she's already made some fan art for me and Katie, so definitely give her a quick boost by checking out her Instagram. With these shoutouts out of the way, I think there's something else I need to address. With the number of former LPers who have moved on to bigger things that I just shouted out, I'm sure you're wondering where Fishbowl is at. After all, I did say I was shooting for a release date by the end of the month. Well, I was unfortunately unable to meet that goal, for reasons related to some of Katie's struggles I mentioned earlier. Despite these setbacks, the project is still underway, and I plan to have it uploaded before the year's end. From there, I'd like to try to get a video up every other month until I move, at which point I'm hoping my free time will increase enough to allow me to commit to once a month. At some point, I'd love to completely redo these character frames, since Katie and I both agree that they really show their age. They were actually among the last batch of art that Katie drew with a mouse cursor as opposed to an art tablet, so they really could afford to be replaced. Regardless though, I've been really excited to be working on Fishbowl again, and despite the setbacks, I'm pleased with how the end result has been turning out so far. It's admittedly a lot more work than LPing, but I'm also far more proud of the end results. Now wait, hold on a second. Fabulous Fish, didn't you just post something on Twitter about recording an entire new LP like last weekend? Well, yes, admittedly I did, but I'd like to emphasize that this was a fluke and shouldn't be expected going forwards. It was just kind of a spur-of-the-moment idea, something that we could record in a single afternoon. It's a very fun game that not enough people have seen, and it also provides yet another way for Katie to showcase her drawing and character designing abilities. So I made an exception for this. Please do not expect more LPs in the future. I'm telling you right now that I'm very likely to make more at some point, but from here on out they'll be more like this one. Irregularly released, not necessarily fan-demanded, and something that my collaborators moderator and I are both really passionate about doing, as opposed to just trying to fill a quota because people expect another project. I think that's a good way to ensure that my videos will always remain at the highest level of quality I can offer, and that my heart is always in the project when I make it. When will this mystery project premiere? I'm afraid I don't have a date for it yet. With all that covered, I think it's time to bring this update video to a close. This has been fabulous. Oh, how silly of me. How could I forget about my Christmas plans? As a way to give back to my community for staying with me through this recent downtime, I have settled on a special project for this holiday season. Welcome to the 12 Days of Fishmas, a new mini-series where I tackle 12 one-off videos to celebrate the holiday season. The games covered in these videos will be a mixture of popular fan requests, games I've always wanted to make a one-off on, games I plan to do a full series on but ended up having to cut due to various reasons, and any other miscellaneous gameplay that I thought would fit in. These videos will be with a variety of guests, but there's absolutely no pattern to predict what kind of video I'm going to release the next day. Starting Christmas Day, I'll be publishing a single one-off and continuing daily until all 12 have been released. It'll be a new surprise each day, like opening a present on Christmas morning, so I hope you're all excited to see what comes next. And what fun is a surprise without baseless speculation? To celebrate this event, I'm opening up a new contest on my Discord server. Simply head on over to the Challenges channel and type out a list of the 12 games that you think I'm going to be covering. I left a small hint to the videos down in the description of this video, and you're allowed to edit or replace your list of 12 games as much as you'd like until the cutoff date on the 24th of December. What's the prize for getting this right? Well, if someone manages to get at least 9 of the games correct, I'll do a special 13th day with the first person to guess the most correctly. Additionally, at the end of the 12th episode, I'll give a shout out to everyone who got any of the games correct, and I'll say which games they guessed correctly. There's no penalty for guessing wrong, so have fun guessing. Oh, and Arkham, there's no secret hints this time around, so please don't strain yourself looking. What you see in the description of this video is the only hints I'm putting out there. Thank you all for being such a big part of my life and of my channel. I hope you all look forward to what I have in store for you next. Merry Christmas, everyone.